we have finally made it. This is the absolute last Steven Seagal movie that I've ever been excited about. And I remember only wanting to see this movie specifically because Seagal was in it. Now, I almost wasn't going to include this movie in my Seagal series, but it is an important part of the Seagal saga, and there are some things that happen in this movie that add to the mystique of one Stefan Muriel Seagalski. Executive Decision begins with a big man himself as Lieutenant Colonel Austin Travis, who is heading a Special Forces counter-terrorist strike team in a raid on a compound that is thought to have a stash of the stolen nerve toxin DZ5 inside. They secure the building but lose one of their own in the process and discover that the nerve toxin isn't there. We then jump ahead 3 months and we meet Army intelligence consultant David Grant as he's taking flying lessons. And now, having never made a successful landing in Microsoft Flight Simulator, I can safely say that I will never take flying lessons. Airplanes just make zero sense to me. Like, you can sit there all day and show me the diagrams of how it works, but it looks like it was made up by an insane person. Or you're telling me the more air pushing down on the plane makes it go up? What kind of cartoon horse shit is that? Bernoulli clearly has no principles if he's willing to lie like that. Nice try, asshole. I'm not buying it. Terrorist El Sayed Yaffa was arrested by U.S. authorities, and his followers, led by Naji Hassan, begin to hijack Oceanic Flight 343. And on this flight, we have an air marshal that thinks the pet rock was a really great idea. U.S. Senator Jason Mavros, played by JT Walsh. Pour one out today for our boy JT. Dude was always great in everything he was in. R.I.P. JT. And you have the flight attendants. Jean, played by the fantastic Halle Berry. Allison, played by everyone's favorite mom growing up, Mary Ellen Trainor. And Nancy, played by Marla Maples Shawn, who is of course the Academy Award-winning actress who was married to beloved character actor and playwright Wallace Shawn.
Something's wrong.
You know, after watching her performance in this, it's no wonder she won the Oscar for the live-action adaptation of Denver the Last Dinosaur. Her portrayal of Denver's sassy next-door neighbor Barb was transcendent. At the Pentagon, they're listening to a recording of Hassan demanding the release of Yaffa. Grant thinks that releasing Yaffa is not their primary goal, and that the stolen DZ5 nerve gas is on board, and they're going to use the plane to detonate the DZ5 over Washington. Travis tells them about an engineer named Cahill who has developed a plane capable of transferring people between planes mid-flight. Travis assembles a team, and because he's still mad about Grant providing his team with bogus intel the first time they went after the DZ5, he makes Grant come along with them.
Colonel, I know you wrote the book on assaulting hijacked aircraft.
Okay, this is officially a Steven Seagal character because you have someone kissing his ass by telling him he's the best at something. You know, when this is all said and done, I'm going to compile a video of every time someone heaped praise on a Seagal character, and it will be 17 hours long. So the operation begins, and they connect the arm to the plane and begin to load into the 747. Both planes begin to lose altitude, and the seal is in danger of breaking free. Their bomb disposal expert, Cappy, gets knocked unconscious, so Grant climbs up to help him, and the sleeve begins to break free, and in the most shocking and heroic moment in movie history, Lieutenant Colonel Austin Travis sacrifices himself in order to save his men and the people on board the plane.
We're not gonna make it, you are!
I was floored when I first saw this movie. Because up to this point, we had never seen Steven Seagal not be the lead, and we had definitely never seen him die in a movie. And in my Above the Law video, I asked if Seagal had ever been killed by another character, and some people cited this movie as proof, but it isn't, because he killed himself. So we still have not seen Seagal get killed by another character, because as the rumor states, it's in his contract that no one can kill Steven Seagal. And now one would like to think that Seagal taking a supporting role in a movie where his character dies marked a turning point in his career, where he realized that he didn't always need to be the star of everything that he's in. But unfortunately, like every Seagal movie, there was a rumor that everyone hated him, and Kurt Russell personally asked for him to be killed off because he didn't want to work with him. And it sucks because besides Under Siege, I think this is Seagal's best role. I like seeing him in a supporting role, and I really feel that if the dude wasn't such a weird creep, he'd probably be in the MCU by now. And it's also rumored that because of this, John Leguizamo's role was expanded to include some of Seagal's dialogue. So if Leguizamo starts talking about an old Chinese man that he studied with when he was 17, then you know that was definitely supposed to be Seagal's line. So the strike team made it on board along with Grant and Cahill, but their comms were destroyed, so they have no way to let the Pentagon know that they made it. And Cappy has a fractured vertebrae and needs to be immobilized, and they only have 4 hours to secure the plane and radio the Pentagon before they're blown out of the sky. So they begin setting up their equipment for the mission. Oh, cut. Steven, your character is dead. How'd you get on set? Also, it looks like you're preparing to blow up the plane. That's the exact opposite of what we want. But before they can attack Hassan's men, they have to find the DZ-5. And now this is the most volatile chemical in the world, and even one drop could kill everyone on board this plane. So, oh my god. Okay. Thankfully it wasn't right behind that. Let's just be a little bit careful, guys. Gah. Come on. And also, before they attack Hassan's men and find the DZ-5, they have to figure out which one is Hassan because no one's ever seen him before. Senator Mavros' aide convinces him that negotiating the release of the hostages will help secure a win in his presidential run, and Hassan tells him that when the time comes, he'll call upon the senator to facilitate negotiations with Washington. They finally locate the DZ-5, and did you drill a hole in that case? Like, this could all be standard operating procedure in this type of situation, but holy f***ing shit. Don't just drill a hole around bombs. And they discover that there's enough nerve agent on board to wipe out half the eastern seaboard. So the plane is essentially a flying bomb, and also, just look at the size of that thing. There is no conceivable reason why that should be flying through the sky right now. That thing is as heavy as a blue whale. You want to tell me that if I calculate the proper lift and drag that I could fly a whale? Do you believe everything the media tells you, or just the stuff that makes you look like a fool? Like, there has to be some kind of magic at work. Like, the scientists are hiding that magic is real. They're working on defusing the bomb when Cappy notices that it has a barometric pressure switch that will explode the bomb on landing. So they recruit Cahill to try to bypass the switch with Cappy's direction. And they don't have enough members on the strike team, so they have to recruit Grant to help take out the terrorists.
Whatever you do, don't look into his eyes.
Because you'll fall in love? So the strike team is in position to blow the lights and kill the terrorists once Cahill defuses the bomb, but we've still got an hour left, so I'm guessing that's not happening right away. And seriously, this is an enjoyable movie, but it could have been about a half hour shorter and still have been great. And honestly, it probably was back when Seagal was on board, because his character would have been a bomb disposal expert and he would have defused it in about 30 seconds. See, Hollywood? Without the god that is Steven Seagal in your movie, you have to look up how long it actually takes mortals to do things, and guess what? It's pretty long. Overall, we're very dumb species. And in the original script, Seagal was gonna flip the plane. The world would not have been ready for it, but damn it, we would have caught up eventually. And for those of you saying, oh, that would be unrealistic, you have a 500-ton metal machine soaring through the air on wings that don't flap. Don't talk to me about something being unrealistic. And they think that they have the bomb defused, but before they can blow the lights, someone runs a program test on the bomb, which means that the terrorists have an override switch that they'll need to find first, or third, or fourth. It's like, this is definitely like the 8th first thing that they have to do before they can take back this plane. The military frees Jaffa, and he calls Hassan, who still intends to go through with his mission, so they scramble fighters to try to make the plane divert.
Call the president. It's an executive decision now.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Name of the movie! You guys! It's the name of the movie! Guys, I said the name of the movie!
Now that Jaffa is free, shall I order the plane to change course back to Algeria?
Don't you hate it when it's your first day on the job and you ask your boss just the dumbest f***ing question? I don't care how much this dude strikes at the heart of the great Satan. He is never living this one down. His nickname will be like Planelander or something. I remember when I started my job, I asked my boss how long the lunch hour was. Never seen someone laugh so hard. And then later I could hear them all making fun of me in the break room, and my lunch was in the fridge so I couldn't go in there to get it. Luckily for this dude, Hassan just murders him and puts him out of his dumb misery.
Son of a bitch. You get me into here, huh?
And I gotta say, no one played the overly annoyed, put-out a-hole better than J.T. Walsh. And like, by all accounts, he was the nicest man, but it seems as though it would be the worst thing in the world if J.T. Walsh had thought that you were a dumb piece of shit. Like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, because my worst enemy would then be severely crestfallen. Well, actually, I take that back. I'll make an exception for Jake Springer. J.T. could have called that dude a donkey-brained malcontent or some shit, and it would have been hilarious. So they realize that none of the other terrorists seem to know about the plan to use the bomb, which means that one of the passengers has the override switch. So they set up a communications device to contact Jean to recruit her help with the search, and man, you know Seagal would be making this call if he were still alive. That dude loves to pretend like he's a communications expert. He'd be relaying what he's doing to his team even though they should already know, but they'd still say something like, "Nobody knows how to make calls like you, Travis." And after messing with the bomb for a half hour, they realize that it's been a decoy and the real bomb is underneath. Like, we still have a half hour left in this movie, and they have to start the bomb disposal all over. I still like this movie, but seriously, come on. And the F-14s arrive to get the 747 to divert, or else they'll be shot down.
Flight, this is Lee. Contact 039 at 125.
We've got the package, sir.
015 for collision.
Freeze contact and concur, Angels 44.
Oh my god. Steven, we know that's you. Come on, get out of here, man. Cahill and Cappy find the real bomb, and they need to insert something between the two pins to keep the bomb from detonating, but it's protected by a laser field. But I don't know, it looks like you do have a straight shot right through it. But what do I know? Hassan brings Senator Mavros to the cockpit so Mavros can begin negotiating the release of the hostages. Hassan, Bubby, I'm your white knight. But unfortunately for the Senator, the similarities to Ellis from Die Hard don't end there, and they shoot him in the face. They're only 25 miles to the fail-safe zone, and all hope seems lost. Before they get shot down, the strike team is able to signal the fighter jets with Morse code.
Negative bull. Go cold on the Sparrow. Alpha 1, you have 10 minutes to U.S. airspace.
They got it. I take back every rust-picking, squid-hating thing I've ever said about swabbies.
What? Baker, are you having a stroke? I have no idea what the hell you just said. There's only 10 minutes left, and they don't know if they can get the bomb defused in time, so Grant calls an audible and recruits Jean one more time. Now, Marla, for this scene, you are tired, scared, and just at your wit's end, alright? And action! Electric. Grant uses her to sneak through the cabin, and he goes after the sleeper when a shootout commences, and they manage to kill most of the terrorists, and they shoot the sleeper, but he's still able to arm the bomb, and just as he hits the button to detonate, Cahill manages to slip a straw between the 2 points, stopping detonation, but one of the terrorists shoots wildly and blasts a hole in the side of the plane. It's awesome. But it does show one of my 7 biggest fears when I fly, being sucked out through a hole in the side. Seriously, one of the worst ways to die. Just strapped to your chair all the way down. Awful. The plane is losing altitude and the straw is coming loose on the bomb, and so Cahill at the last second heroically just kind of pushes the flimsy piece of plastic in a little bit further. That seems like the least amount of resistance from being blown to smithereens. Hassan is not dead and he kills the pilots. And Grant, with the help of Jean, then has to use his training to land this giant airboat. And are pilot seats as comfortable as they look? I mean, they would have to be, right? But like, just how comfy are we talking? Of course, they may as well be toilets, because if you're piloting a plane, you're gonna be just shitting bricks the whole time.
I'm losing control of the airplane. Flaps! How much flaps can I put in? 170 knots.
170 knots. Any amount of flaps you want.
All right. God damn it. There we go. 150, 140, 130. Oh. What the hell? I'm gonna stall. Power up. 150 knots. There we go. Landing gear. All right, here we go. We're gonna land.
Like, this is what I imagine is going on in a cockpit every time I'm in a plane. Like, the pilots are just barely in control the entire time. And that's why they keep the cockpit door locked so you can't see them freaking out. Or I guess one other theory is that airplanes are actually alien creatures, kind of like Transformers, but they need human oxygen to function. Like, they let the pilots play pretend to keep up the illusion, but the planes themselves decide when and where to land. And Grant is coming in for a landing, but for some reason he overshoots the runway. Yeah! Big ol' airplane!
I missed it. Power up. Oh.
And Grant realizes that he's near the runway that he's practiced on and decides to try to land there.
Things almost land themselves, don't they?
I knew it! Damn it, get out of here, Steven. It won't make any sense if the audience sees you. So that was Executive Decision. I mean, honestly, besides being a little overlong, it's still a very cool movie. And it does feel like a sidestep from Steven Seagal's filmography, but we're through with it. Now we can move on into the meaty stuff. Because looking ahead, I think this is the last Steven Seagal movie that I ever watched. So which Steven Seagal movie are you most looking forward to? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.